Hey there. Welcome to day 20, 21 days of presence. I'm Adrienne Elise. Wow, what intensity, huh? It's interesting though, because we're reaching the point of this incredible opposition that's happening where I've talked about with oppositions that there's just like tension, tension, tension. But then when they're directly opposite, there's a mutual learning, growing, expansion opportunity. And it appears that we have arrived to this place where it's kind of like, oh, it's so intense, but okay, here I am in this intensity. And what does it mean? Or what does it not mean? you know? So today, exact is this Mars opposite Pluto, and still Mercury. Mercury and Mars are very close, and so it's like the two of them together pulling against Pluto and this, close to the North Node, Pluto close to the South Node, and it's interesting because Mercury and Mars, we've talked about them being action planets. There are daily planets. It's kind of like, come on, let's get on with business, right? Like, let's just go forward. What's the problem? Pluto's the destroyer. And in Capricorn, as the structures of our reality, the structures of our authority, the structure of our systems. And Pluto is saying, okay, go ahead, move forward, but something has to break. And we're feeling this. We feel like we're being broken in our psyche, and it's bringing up a lot of feelings, deep feelings of just who knows what, just the mucky muck feelings with all of this Cancer energy, bringing up feelings of failure, feelings of grief. And it's kind of like, okay, something needs to break, and it's me. I'm having a breakdown. Like there's nothing else to break. But it's interesting because that's really what we're doing here. There's no validation for it. But if you reach inside, deep inside of you, you can feel that there's a resonance perhaps with the fact that you're actually holding it together really well. And your breakdown might be saving the world. Because that's the energy of this Uranus and Taurus. We've been told all these stories that when we go through these shifts, these time cycles, the age of Aquarius, we're going to have a catastrophe, right? And everything's going to fall apart and the earth is going to break. But we're actually doing it differently this time. Uranus is about higher information, vibrational frequency, technological advances, and innovation, but high connection to like our higher self. And this is what's trying to land higher consciousness into our physical world, our planet. And we are going through the earth changes in our own psyche. And it's intense. But, Pluto has this interesting energy because it feels like it's got to be broken, right? And it's got to be destroyed. And it's like, it's got this energy of like you push and you push and you push, and then Pluto explodes. Pluto is our power. It's our potential. It's our fear of our own power. And so we're being pushed into the corner here, and we got to break. But the picture that I'm getting is that, well, what are we breaking actually? Is our false constructs of this world and our false personality constructs. It's like shattering the lower matrix that we've been trapped in. But when we do that, we're shattering our attachments. We're shattering who we think we are. We're shattering our goals, our dreams, our everything that made sense in this world. Everything that we've used to get through this world to this point is breaking down. And so then this world doesn't make any sense. Our life doesn't make any sense. And what is the point, right? This is bringing up so much stuff is coming up right now in the collective consciousness with this Mars opposite Pluto energy, with around catastrophes that have happened on the planet. And these catastrophes have programmed us to think that that's what is necessary to grow and change and evolve. And it's not. It's a lie. It's a big fat lie that has been deeply ingrained into our psyche. Now, those of us who were framed or part of these alive on the planet when these things were happening and in the collective consciousness, because we're raising our frequency, we're moving into new areas of the galaxy, it's triggering this fear programming. And it's really important to know that that's just fear programming from the past. Okay, but it's this apprehension and this anxiety that's coming up in the individual psyche, but also, for those sensitive souls, you're feeling that collective consciousness and you're feeling this trepidation about these changes. And it's like that baby in the birth canal that's putting its feet out, being like, I'm not going to earth, right? And we all have this, and it's like, I'm not going through this change. I'm not going through the birth canal. I'm not going through this portal. I am not going to be a part of the destruction. And it's like, guess what? That's not what's happening this time. Oh, so it's just like we were talking about yesterday. It's time for us to embrace and say yes and commit to this changes and what's happening, because we've been waiting for this for a really long time. And it's a good thing. It's setting us free. Okay, because when the lower matrix of our life breaks, it feels like everything's falling apart, but it's actually releasing us into the higher matrix, which is an organic matrix. That's the life force of the universe. And what's allowing and supporting this process is the Christ consciousness grid. That is kind of a mediation and harmonization process for us to release the prison planet Earth and the slavery of humanity into the higher powered conscious beings that we are. But there's one thing that's kept us for so long from moving into our power, and that's programming about our power, and that we could actually break this world with our power. But that's a lie. And what we can break, though, is that lower matrix. So the control energies want us to think like, don't do it, you'll break the earth, everything will fall apart. Like, don't do it, don't do it. And yet we don't have a choice. We're moving into these higher vibrational frequencies, different area of the galaxy, it's happening. And so we have to change our thinking, and we have to say, no, that's a lie, right? And maybe that's that ego death of like, I think I was wrong about this, right? And saying, oh, what we're breaking and the danger of what they've been telling us, the fear of our power, is it that we have the power to break the lower matrix. That all that does is set people free, and maybe people who are, why this process has to take so long and be gradual is because when we let go of those constructs of those lower matrix that have been making you feel safe, it can make you feel like you're going crazy, or you're losing everything, or you're dying, or your life's falling apart, but it's actually trying to fall together. And so we have to go through this detachment phase, right? We've been like literally programmed over lifetimes to be more attached through traumas. Okay, so programming happens through trauma. When the soul's in a state of trauma, then you can insert these bad programs, these lies, and so we've been programmed with all of this energy of fear of our own potential and fear of our power. But it's all based on a complete falsity. And so when you can kind of have that shift, it's almost like, the mind gives us so much trouble, right? It's like the monkey mind and the personality construct and the drama. And, that's all keeping us. It's like as soon as you jump above into the higher grid and you feel lighter and freer, along comes that lower matrix, these ties, these contractual arrangements, these loyalties pull us back down. It's like, I'm suffering, but at least I don't feel guilty about not suffering when everybody else is suffering, kind of thing, is one way that these energies can pull out, and can play out. But we have to recognize the lies, okay? Because the nature of the lower matrix is that we're being fed with constructs, mental constructs that are false. And so the minute we say in our psyche, even question, right? And we can do this with our emotions and stuff too, because we feel what we feel and we have the power. Emotions can be so powerful, but we can also get stuck in the lower matrix with them. And we have to kind of be like, maybe, the thought that comes to mind is that some of the messages that we're being fed through the lower electronic microwave technology matrix grid is that we're failures, we're small, we can never do anything, it's pointless. And so when you start to feel these things, if you just kind of say, wait a minute, is that my thought? Because that's not really in alignment, you know, with who I am. And maybe it's just what I'm being fed. And that slight shift in your psyche can allow a little bit more freedom, a little bit more permission for that higher grid, the organic grid, the lightness of being, the joy, the creation energy. That's what we're supposed to feel like. And that's when we're doing what we're here to do, you know, is to hold the light, hold the space, hold the hope. And they win when they take all the hope away, right? And our whole human evolution is based on the fact of the strength of our life force, our desire to survive. So, how do you infiltrate and disrupt humanity? Get them to think they don't want to live. Pretty much everything in our world, especially light worker souls, is to get you to think that it's hopeless. You'll never win against this monster. So why even try? Just sit down, shut up, play small, go along with the program. You know, you'll be better and safer and everything will be handled if you just go along with the program. And it's like, yeah, no, game over, right? Because we're here to live. And we've had enough of this lower grid delusion. These are delusions. This is the power of this backdrop of astrology that we're having right now with Saturn sextile to Neptune. It's like, wait a minute, our world, our whole reality is based on a whole bunch of lies. I'm not going to buy into it anymore. I'm going to go with this truth. And you know, that's hard because there's nothing to validate this truth in this world. And you're completely alone. That's part of the programming too. If you allow yourself to spiritually awaken, you'll be completely alone. You'll just be isolated. You'll just be floating out there in space, all alone. It's like, no, because it's like spiritual awakening happens in groups. That's the whole difference of the time we live in. In the past, it was like one master ascending, showing us what's possible. Now we're going to go in groups, and it's important that we find each other. And that's the process that's trying to happen right now. But there's all this programming keeping us in fear and trepidation. Every time we get any closer to those higher vibrational frequencies, we get these messages that we're going to die. We can't overcome the fear. We're going to be completely alone. And then it just brings us back to this energy of failure. This is deep programming that's been started like 100,000 years ago. And so we've got to somehow climb our way out of it by coming back to the truth of who we are. And what's really true is only that, you know? And so Saturn sextile Neptune is saying, hey, maybe we can get some truth around here. Maybe we can break through these delusions. Maybe we can come back to the dream. That is what got us here in the first place, what gave us the desire to be on planet Earth, what gave us the impetus to be here and to go through all that we've gone through to be here. And we've been just snip, cut off from that. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm nothing. And you're not. You're so powerful. And you are consciousness embodied. And you're here to live the dream and keep that dream alive. It's up to you. You know, this is our mission and our purpose in some terms, you know, in the wider variety, and then the narrow, like the how it actually manifests, that's not up to us. You know, life will guide us there. We got to set our course, and we got to claim our permission and align with that dream of this ultimate beautiful Eden star Earth potential, and then just get on the train and go, right? So here we are. Let's just go ahead and tap into these energies today and see if we can't anchor into this true self and let the delusions and lies of this world just pass by, and remind ourselves that this peace and presence, that's what's really real in this world. It's the only thing we get to take with us. And so let's go ahead and just arrive right here, right now. Just taking a few deep breaths. Just sinking in. And we've made this beautiful communication with Mother Earth, just on that exhale, putting down that root system, just reaching those energy waves down into the earth, coming into union with Mother Earth, going through all of the bullshit to the truth. And just go ahead and say hello to Mother Earth. How is she doing today? And receive from her the gratitude, the peace, the presence, the amazement at this journey that we get to go through together. And maybe we could run through some of these lies with her, see what she thinks about them. And so just kind of feeling yourself come into this union, this deep peace of the moment, your true self. Just taking a few deep breaths. Coming right here, right now, to the only time that exists, the only thing that's real. And go ahead and ask Mother Earth if you can handle your own power. And see what you get back. And I get a yes, yes, yes. This is so exciting. And that's where we get this gratitude when we come into consciousness. When we're running around crazy in our life, reacting, we can't connect to Mother Earth. We can't feel her support. We can't come into who we really are. And we can't see through the lies. And so just sinking in, feeling her arms reach up around you, holding you in this deep place of truth and rest. Nothing in this world, including your parents, can support you in this journey, but Mother Earth can. So just reaching out and being with her right here, right now. The message is about true stability and peace available. Almost I feel it's like hooking in. She's saying, come on, just hook in, just settle in, get on the train, get your seatbelt on. We're going to go, but it's safe for you. It's secure. It's fun. It's an expansive, beautiful experience. And so just go ahead and ask her if there's anything to fear in this process. And she says, only disconnection. And I'm seeing a picture of being disconnected from our true self. Because when we connect to the earth, that's what we're really doing, is connecting to our true self. And so just sinking deeper and deeper into this now moment, taking a few deep breaths, feeling the support of the earth up and around you, gravity, your whole body just relaxing and releasing into this now moment. When we feel alone, lost, scared, depressed, hopeless, we're disconnected from our true self. And just coming back home right now to this moment. Connecting to, your own source. and imagining this and feeling this full connection, like you're heart to heart with Mother Earth, arms around her, connecting with your soul group, and together you breathe. Just settling in for the journey. And just feeling that feeling of connection to your soul group. Together, loving and breathing electromagnetic fields in resonant with the earth frequency, heart frequency resonance. Settling in for whatever lies ahead. And just staying here in this peace, this presence, as long as you would like. Bringing it with you into your everyday life. Reminding yourself it's always here. This place outside of time, which is the only time. And when you're ready, go ahead and complete your meditation. Well, thank you so much for joining me for day 20. 21 days of presence. Wow, we're so close to this solstice energy. And I really look forward to our soul group session tomorrow. It's going to be leading up to the exact time of the solstice, and just being present in this peace together with Mother Earth and our soul group, and just riding out the waves of whatever's happening in our life from this peaceful place, and settling in for the journey ahead as we move into summer eclipse season. So thank you so much for joining me. Your energy makes the group and gives permission for your soul group to receive from this work as well. So thanks so much for joining me through these 21 days. It's been incredibly grounding and supportive for me, and I hope for everyone else too. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 21 and for the soul group solstice session. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.